The Week 12 Bombs and Thursday Night Football edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet's a new social sports book available in 45 states. Download the Rebet app. Use code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamepodcast.com/RITHMM. And let's see if we can start the song now and without any problem. Sorry about that, guys. Here, welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, Scumbagger Vince. I kind of like playing the song while I'm... Oh, not that one. Well, the Man in the Box, obviously. The Bombino. Deli Roll. The Deli Llama. CJ Sullivan, basically. How we doing? Today, Thursday, November 21st. From Eagle Rock, California. Boy, November's flying by. I don't know why. I don't know why I've getting a radio voice talk about how fast a month is going. Is there anything worse than talking about how fast time is going? Or slow? Either way, time is not changing. Your life is. And we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. We got a big show today. Of course, Thursday Night Football tonight, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. We got some 5 new contest plays they hit to brick out on for Week 12. The NFL, we got a Man in the Box segment coming up. I might be introducing a new segment to the show. I've been told that in the feedback. Hey, how about you put in a goddamn new segment that listeners get excited for, and they could submit their own things. All right, You know me, C-Generates. When it comes to advice, I hate it. I don't care who it comes from. And that's why I'm here today. Because they let me be, usually, in the box, actually. No one touches me here. They don't give me a damn note. Go in the box, scream, and get out. Now, granted, that's hurt my career. Told a lot of bosses and radio producers to F off because they know what they're talking about, which they don't. But they do control my fate as far as occupation and employment. So that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. Now I'm just going back here. One time, when Sirius Satellite Radio, when it was first coming out, I had a show with Visitors Locker Room. That was a great show that I did in Chicago. It was comics into it was me, Sean Flannery, Sean Cole, Nate Craig, Adam Croches, Pat Bryce, Chitty Chatty Laddie Patty. That was the original. We finally had a format where it was me, Pat Bryce, Sean Flannery, the 3 of us. Powerhouses. R.I.P. to Pat Bryce. He passed away, years ago now. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Laddie Patty. And they loved the show. But then he died. Jerk move on his part, dying. And then Sirius was like, well, all right, we're going to need an audition for you again to see, because they gave us a contract for a show, but they we got to see how you sound without him. No problem. We got this. Me and Flannery came out to L.A., laid down some tracks, laid down a fucking show. We killed it. They had notes, a lot of notes. They're all dumb notes. And we told them to shove those notes. And they said, okay, fine. We will not care then, and we'll do something else. And they did. Anyway, that's how you not get ahead. That's how you don't get ahead. They love to, there's radio people, and some of them are pretty dumb. Their rating system is still, to this day, based on how many people call in. That's why, like, Shock Jocks and others always had huge ratings, or to them ratings, because it's just people calling in to say they hated them. And they don't give you notes like, Howard Stern does this, or Howard Stern does that. I'm like, Howard Stern never listened to people like you, and you always tell Howard Stern, people like Howard Stern to not do that. The only reason why you source him now is because he's successful. But before he was successful, you were telling him everything not to do. Anyway. I'll keep fighting a good fight, C-Generates. I don't know where this thing went off because I got a show to get into. We'll get into Thursday Night Football, of course. Monday Night Football went well for us, sort of. We hit Houston -7. Did not hit a Schultz ladder, but he did hit over his receptions. Did not quite get the yards. So we chopped on Schultz. But we hit the Texans. Texans didn't look great, but they did spank Cowboys, and that's all we asked for. Like I said, I don't mind that the Cowboys are on national TV every week as long as they get humiliated every single time. They have to hold their end up of the bargain. I don't want you trying things. I want you to get worse and worse. I want everyone to quit, and they have. They have flat out quit. So we'll get into that anyway. But first, if you haven't downloaded the SGPN app, where my picks will be, you're missing out. The SGPN app gives you access to all of the podcasts on this network and the picks pages in one convenient app. Plus, like all our content, and the app is completely free. Type in SGPN in your app store. Download it today. All right, let's get into the show. Let's get into this Thursday Night Football game. Pop a little football. That's a long song. I could go forever. Also, if you want to join the chat, if you're watching on X, I appreciate it live. But once you hop on over to the YouTube page, that way you can get in the chat. You can enrage me. You can engage me. You can inflage me. Drunken Irishman, haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. How you doing? He says, what's up, CJ? Or should I say the laddie daddy or scumbagger Vance? You can say them all. You could say them all. I'll give out a ladder. You be a laddie daddy. Scumbag. I did golf this morning. I got my golf hat on, so Scumbagger Vance does apply. Played 9 holes at Roosevelt. Need to clean up the game before the Saturday Skins game. Last week was a tournament. It was a disgrace what I did out there. Absolute disgrace. It'll help the handicap, but good God, I was, ugh. Anyway, we are going. Mover T says we're in the chat giving live notes. I know. I don't mind your note. I don't mind the chat's notes. I'll take the fans' notes. That was part of my problem too with the Sirius audition we did, like, because they want real callers, because that's how they, like I said, that's how they rated their numbers, by how many people are calling in and they get to be a part of the show. And we're like, yeah, we don't want callers. We had fake callers. We did that. Like, we're comics. We want to create the show. Why would I want the fucking public to have creative control of my show? That's insane. Doesn't that sound crazy? Like, help along. I love it. I love being a part of it. But like giving them airtime, I don't get it. Anyway, like I said, that's why we're not. That's why they passed on us after they gave us a contract and they ripped it up. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's good to be back. Yay, Stevie Elridge from North Kakalaka. Great to be back. Been missing the adrenaline rush of the live program. That's true. Listen, you can listen to me on the podcast, and I appreciate that, of course, all the downloads and subscriptions. But that anything could happen when we're doing live. I mean, who knows? I could spill the LaCroix all over me. I mean, Sean could walk in and say, we're out of salads the one time. The Kramer could do that. He's in the side room. I mean, anything could happen during the live moment. This is like 1975. Lorne Michaels, we're going to light this tree. Who knows? Is this going to be a television phenomenon, Saturday Night Live, or is it going to be, fall right on its face? Anything can happen with the degenerates in the chat, the laddie daddy behind the mic, the deli roll, the man in the box, as we give out bombs. I mean, most likely nothing exciting is going to happen. I'm just going to, I go off script. I'm not saying that. I have an outline. If you don't know, here, I'll lock in. I'll show you guys. I have a clipboard, of course. Little Colts sticker there. Like as I said before, I get these football helmet stickers from the Los Feliz car wash. I put in 50 cents, like with the kids, and then I got a clipboard. I got an outline. I have an outline, Roman numerals A, B, 1 through. Some things I've picked up since grade school. I'm not a slave to the script, but I have a certain structure, and the structure now says Thursday Night Football, Pittsburgh -3.5, total 36.5. Steelers at Cleveland. This is the next Andy Kaufman moment, Buford T. Justice. Buford T., I'm glad you brought that up because obviously, if you remember from last show, I compared Jake Paul to Andy Kaufman. And the fact that, he created this heel character where Andy Kaufman would wrestle women and that would anger people because he wouldn't wrestle men. And the same thing with Jake Paul, where he doesn't box fellow boxers. He only fights like basketball players and old people and whatever. And it gets people angry. Anyway, I made a Man in a Box video of it. Check out my socials. It's on there. Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken _ in between each words, or on X at CJ Sullivan _ or on the YouTube page. Bottom Line Bomb. Make sure you subscribe to it. But anyway, I got to put pictures in there. I edited it up, and looking at some of those Andy Kaufman wrestling photos is so funny. There were so many of them I had to choose from to put in there in the video. I went with the one just with him with that T-shirt that says "World Women Wide World Wrestling Champion," the Worldwide Women's Wrestling Champion. It's just a thing he made up. So funny. Anyway, Browns Steelers. This is going to be a muck it up game. Supposed to be bad weather. Now they said that's why the total dropped to 36. Now it's ticking back up because apparently it's not going to be that windy. Cleveland knows bad weather. They're not. You can't tell Cleveland that they're going to have bad weather. You could scare people. You could scare us like, oh, I heard about this weather bad. I go, is it really? I don't know. We're living in Cleveland. This is what we do every day. The mistake by the lake. This is a rivalry. Last week, Pittsburgh played Baltimore, and that's a violent rivalry. Well, that's not a violent rivalry. That's a rivalry of two worthy competitors that respect each other. They don't like each other, but they go at it hard. Like I said, like two brothers just fighting. And then they get mad at the mom when the mom gets mad at them. Pittsburgh, Cleveland is a different rivalry. Pittsburgh-Cleveland is a rivalry where they don't really like each other at all. And even if one's good, the other one makes them play down. They play down to the level. Where Pittsburgh and Baltimore reach at the top, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, they go down into sewers or the swamp, and they fight to the bottom. That's why this total being low. A lot of people like the over 36. I would. It's just going to be an ugly. Everything about Cleveland-Pittsburgh is an ugly game. That being said, these Cleveland Browns, a very confusing team. They had the Jameis Winston revenge game last week versus Saints where he threw for 400 yards. They won a turnover battle by 2, and they still got blown out. Like, they're like a paradox. Like, how is this even possible? What are they doing? The Browns browned it up. But here comes the Steelers. Steelers! It's weird between the rivalry. This is one of my favorite rivalries, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. They're the exact same fucking city, but they both look down upon the other one. I love rivalries like that. Boston and New York is not like that, where New York is better than Boston. New York and Philly. New York is better than Philly. But so they have an inferiority complex. But Pittsburgh and Cleveland, they're the same. They're the same city. Absolutely the same. Although I have affiliation for Pittsburgh. Either way. But they both look at like, oh, God, we're not Cleveland. That mistake by like that shithole. Like, who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? Feach LaSalle, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. He says, bad day to change his username. And Ronnie Pasco, DJ Ronnie Pasco says, Cleveland's not ready for Russell Wilson's massive moon balls. And this... Glad you brought that up, Ronnie, because this is where comes into my play. I am fading the Steelers. I know the Steelers are hot, Tom, but this is a bad scheduling situation for them. They just played Baltimore, a very, very physical, hard rival. And then 3 days later, they have to be ready to go on the road to play Cleveland. This is where Russell Wilson will be coming crashing down. Baltimore's secondary wasn't the secondary to do it. Not that Cleveland's defense. Cleveland's defense has been very disappointing this year. But Russell Wilson's a fraud. I'm not saying his career's a fraud. I'm saying the new Russell Wilson being good. I'll say, yeah, he's back. He's cooking. And if you look at his numbers, it's the same exact numbers he did at Denver. 2 years ago, where he wasn't that bad, actually, but it just looked bad. This is where his moon balls become, what the fuck was that ball? Like that interception he threw in the end zone last week versus Baltimore. Here comes one of those moon, but what? Russ. No, Russell. No. Who let him cook? Why are we letting him cook in Cleveland? They just have pierogies here. Why are you cooking? You know, Cleveland has their own version of the there's another thing about Cleveland. So Pittsburgh has a permane sandwich, and Cleveland has what's a Cleveland version of the permane sandwich? I forget what it's called. I want to look it up. It's in the flats. What the hell is it called? Polish boy? Is that what's, no, that's a sausage sandwich. What am I talking about? Anyway, they have one. It's paninis. It's basically the place is called paninis. That's right. And it's the same thing as permanis. Polish boy is one, but Polish boy is I don't know. It's in the flats there. I think it's paninis I'm thinking of. I'll tell you what they do have is that stadium mustard. That's legit. The stadium mustard, they have the baseball. You buy that at a Giant Eagle out there, you get yourself a barrel of that fucking stadium mustard. I don't know if it's got vinegar in it, what it's got, but hello, dog. Hello, Dolly. Bernie Kosar, that's some good mustard. I'll tell you that much. Poor Bernie Kosar. Can't get in the stadium. He got railroaded by some fucking website. They made him bet. They made him do a ceremonial bet. Then they got fired for making a bet. Poor Bernie. The Browns don't even know how to treat their heroes, for crying out loud. Just some kind of bell. Can we get Kevin Mack out there tonight? Is he alive? Is he alive out there, C-Generates? You got to be careful when you talk about old football players because half of them are dead. And they all have tragic brain-type early death injuries. Anyway, let's get into the Browns. So I'm going to take the Browns plus 3.5. Let's bomb that. I just think it's a tough spot, divisional road dog. I'm not ready to lay that many points with the Steelers. Now, as far as props go, I want to look at some of these. I like some of these Browns. Here's the thing with Winston. I will say Nick Chubb doesn't look exactly healthy. But Winston is throwing the ball obviously all over the place. That's what he does. I don't want to play any of these Steeler props of Pickens or even Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin's not actually a bad one. Jalen Warren's not bad. But the Browns go Cedric Tillman. They go Jerry Jeudy. And I'll tell you who's been under the radar now since Winston's come back, and this is who I'm going to lock in for prop-wise. If you want to join me, C-Generates, I'll give out an official play. Let's give out the incomparable Elijah Moore. Eli Moore. Let's see what his numbers are. His total is 34.5 yards receiving. Oh, we're going to bomb that over. And let's see how many receptions. It can't be that many. All right. We're looking at 3.5 at plus money. So 3.5 receptions plus money. And I like that just as much as I like the yards. He's been targeted 29 times over the last 3 games. That's almost 10 targets a game. It's the same amount he's seen in the first 7 games with Deshaun Watson quarterbacking. So with Winston under center, he's logged 8 targets, 3 straight games, topping 60 yards twice. Pittsburgh's not a great matchup, but I think the focus will be more on Tillman. He is the guy they need to start. He's obviously Winston's number 1. I think we can get more pretty early, and let's see if we can ladder him up a little bit. Not going to go crazy because of the weather game, and he's not one who breaks it. But Elijah Moore at 55 yards, plus 188. 65 yards is plus 295 on BetOnline. 75 yards, let's stop right there, plus 465. There's the ladder. Whoop, I forgot to go wide. There's the ladder. The Eli Moore ladder. How about let's check out his targets too. Not that we need to do targets, but receptions. See if we some value there. All right, 4 catches is like I said, is even money. 3.5. So 5 catches plus 180. Then we hop up, get that kitty out of the tree. Where's that kitty? There's the kitty up here. There she is. Siamese. 6 catches is plus 380. 7 catches for Eli Moore, plus 620. And what if he catches all 8 targets? What? Can you imagine such a thing? The cat skeleton up in the tree, plus 1193. Let's bomb that. That's pretty nice, Eli Moore. There you go. Let's ladder up Eli Moore tonight and see what we can do. Can Jameson handle the cold? That has been a question for sure, a real question. I mean, I bet if I was to bet, Winston's going to have an hilarious outfit for the cold. He's going to be like wearing blue jeans under his football pants and the fucking over-the-top hoodies. You know, like when the Latin baseball players play in October, you know, and they go over-the-top, like triple fat goose jackets underneath their jerseys and stuff. Always hilarious. I think Winston will be fine. It doesn't matter. He throws the ball. Listen, he can barely handle the warm weather, Winston. It's not like if he can handle the cold. I mean, he is reckless with the football, but he slings it around, and that's all that matters. So I'm going Cleveland Browns plus 3.5. Eli Moore over 35.5 and 3.5. Ladder them up. Sprinkle a little of the money line. I think the Browns win this tonight. Bomb them. All right, let me tell you about my bookie, because that's where you can find this line, 3.5. MyBookie.ag, SGPN started out with MyBookie. Now we're back. Check out the new and improved website, great on mobile. Plus, props for every game at a live dealer casino, even new early cash out options. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. I forgot to get the new graphics. Now you're just looking at me. Just reading that, huh? I feel like I'm breaking the fourth wall here. Or the second wall, since it's kind of two-dimensional. And we're not really in person. But what about Rebet? Rebet's a new advertiser, another new company we got going on here. We're brought to you by Rebet. It's a brand new social sports book available in 45 states. A huge market of betting opportunities are available on Rebet. Easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sports books may be restricted. Download Rebet in the App Store. Use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy. Scumbagger Vance, the Man in the Box, the Deli Roll, all those things here. The chat room is going great. Jeff Garcia, Cleveland Brown legend. Virgil says, let's go. Correct, everybody. All right, let's get into the Circa Million Contest and give out 5 entries now that we're on to Cleveland for tonight. Now we have the weekend. NFL, we need to grab some dogs. The weather is changing. We are still under 500 for the season, but we're gonna lock this thing up. Let's start off with that Chicago. Oh, I should pull up the lines, Circa, because we used the Circa contest lines. I haven't even looked at them yet. They got released today. I have a thing about X later on in my Man in the Box, by the way. You know why I haven't watched the lines yet today, C-Generates, and I'll tell you this. I was saving this for Man in the Box, but I'll get into more details in Man in the Box. I can't look at Twitter right now or X, or I at least have to turn notifications off a tweet. I made the mistake of interacting with a tweet on Laker Twitter. Big mistake. They're as dumb as the fucking, at least the Swifties enjoy something, whatever. I don't know. You know, they're children. These guys are the same thing, but for the Lakers. I'll get more detail on that later. All right. Tonight is 3.5 on that line. Let's start right off with, the story of the story of the week. I talked a little bit about it on Thursday or Monday. That's when the news broke. It's been the story all week, the dumbest story all week, but I love it. Tommy DeVito. The New York Giants are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, model! Get the fuck out of here, Tampa. Baker Mayfield, your neon air conditioning. The fuck is on Tampa Bay? Hey, how much you sell corn for? A Buccaneer? That's good, right? That's good fucking joke. The line is 6. Tampa Bay laying 6 in New York. Danny Dimes got benched. Everyone assumed Drew Lock, the backup quarterback that gave $5 million to, would be the backup. Drew Lock assumed that. Not so fast, Drew. Somebody else had something to say about it. Someone put a call in, and we're getting Tommy Cutlets back. We're getting fucking Tommy DeVito. Why? Because he's fun. Fuck you, Drew Lock. We've seen you. We don't care that you're getting paid. I thought I was going to get another opportunity. Well, you're not. We hate you. Everyone hates you. We like Tommy Cutlets, baby! And yes, it'll be very heavy Italian. He says he's trying to avoid the fun and games. Well, too bad, Tommy. This ain't about you. It's about us. This is about a country that's so woke, that can't make fun of any races. We're a racist country that can't openly be racist anymore. We're handcuffed. Us racist Americans are handcuffed, and Italians and Irish are here for us. The last of the Mohicans. They're the people we can openly make fun of with stereotypes. We can say, hey, Tommy, what you have for dinner last night? Some fazool, I bet. Get out of here, you fucking mop your butt on. Hey, Tommy, did you commit any capital murders on the way over here, Tommy? What do you say, Tommy? You know, because your family's all in the mob because they're Italian. God, stop being so sensitive, Tommy. What, are you going to whack me? Hey, Tommy, did you think about whacking these Buccaneers if they give you any trouble? Anyway, it's going to be questions like that. Giants on the bye. Throwing DeVito out there. I can't wait. Is he good? Fuck no, he's not good, but it doesn't matter, Fazzle. You don't hit Tommy too hard. He doesn't run. Actually, he does run. Most Italians don't run because it looks bad. It's embarrassing. You know what's funny about the story? So Locke's been... People are like, oh, the Giants' locker room's a mess because Drew Lock said he thought he was going to be the number 2. Now Daniel Jones is like the 4. He's like running scout team safety today. The locker room's fine. The locker room doesn't care what Drew Lock has to say. They all want DeVito out there. Sterling Shepard's returning. He's a Tampa Bay receiver now. He's, of course, famous Giant. He's like, yeah, DeVito's a good guy. It was a hell of a time last year. We were fucking going to clubs. We were going to Scores, a strip. It was great. Who doesn't want to be a part of Tommy DeVito? I like to talk that, the Giants are trying to tank for a better draft pick because that's why they put DeVito in. What? Yeah, if they wanted to tank, they just could have kept Daniel Jones in. He was doing just fine on his own tanking the season. They just lost to Carolina in Germany. Daniel Jones had the losing down pat. You didn't need to rock that boat. No, I actually believe they're putting DeVito in because he gives them the best chance to win, and he does. At least today, the first time. Boo for T says this episode isn't going to age well. Come on. We can't make fun of that. You can't make fun of Italians. What else are we going to say? You can't make fun of Filipinos? Oh, you can't? Oh, sorry. I like when people do try to throw themselves into groups like redheads. Redheads, we're not going to hear from you. Like ginger is an offensive term. Shut the fuck up, ginger. You're not a, you're not an oppressed racial group. You're a porn subgenre is what you are. You're a fetish. I could scroll you on Pornhub, redhead. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Anyway, Giants. I'll tell you what's going to age well. I mean, this is it. This is what we call for. This is you got to play this in New York. He's as Kramer likes to tell me, he's undefeated in the state of New Jersey, at least NFL wise.
How about them Giants, baby? Huh? You bet your ass.
That's right. Uncle Kev is excited again because finally there's someone to root for. Steve Elver says, cutting Tyrod Taylor always bites teams in the ass. Tyrod Taylor, the way I said Flacco goes and fixes your quarterback, Tyrod Taylor is in there. He's like he's the Undertaker. He's like the Grim Reaper. He comes to your town. He'll take one for the team. Like he'll take a needle and he'll get a punctured lung, whatever it takes to get your young phenom out there. Danny Dimes must have one of those no tank clauses. Listen, Danny Dimes is tanking. That's the problem. But yeah, now they're benching him because if he gets hurt, they owe him a lot of money. I can see Danny leading with his head, getting it out there. But the New York Giants, we're going to take them +6. I think that's a big number for Tampa Bay to be laying on the road, especially with Tommy Cutlets and Tommy DeVito. Oh, I just can't wait for these reporters to get over Italian with him. And then they're going to show the agent, of course. What's his name? Sean Stellano. That guy is so Italian. Like, it just seems like a joke. That's why I love when DeVito's like, listen, I'm sick of these jokes. I just want to play football. I don't want to hear about the Italian stuff. Shut the fuck up. You're the one who came into this. You're the one telling us your mom folds your laundry for you and you're 28 and your agent looks like this guy. Your agent looks like Father Guido Sarducci out there. Don't you tell me you don't want to leave. Too late. We got the Godfathers queued up. We got Donnie Brasco queued up. Too late. All right? We got the music playing. So that being said, New York Giants +6 is our first bomb. An Italian bomb, if you will. A pipe bomb. This is for insurance purposes only. You bomb this one. You believe this? I feel like that Goodfellas scene when they're Pesci and Leota are lighting up the tiki restaurant. You look like you're lighting a Christmas tree. You don't know what you're fucking doing. You believe this? A Jew broad. This day and age. Kramer likes to point out that agent is so over the top Italian that Peter Schrager on the NFL Network had to run a whole segment on him to show that this is actually how he is. He's not just doing this for the cameras because DeVito's a star now, which is true. This guy just got an Italian like Sports Hall of Fame. He's always been like this. People don't understand. People don't understand. I do. Because I'm from Jersey originally, and I grew up around these Italians. They are like this. This is exactly how they are. They're ridiculous. They're hilarious people, but they are absurd. And they're gonna have all the cutlets out, and they're gonna stir the sauce, and they're gonna keep it tight with it. They're gonna keep it tight with Tampa Bay. Is all I'm trying to say. Oh my God! All right, I know. Well, we could do Goodfellas line. We could do Goodfellas lines all day, but I'll get caught up in it. But first, let me tell you about Underdog, and then we'll get really into what's going on here and get about 4 bombs. Boy, am I wasting my time. Wasting my time and wasting your time. But first, Underdog. I'll give it an Underdog play. It's got one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, basketball, MMA, NBA, Madagascar. You now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. I'm going to use it on Elijah Moore. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. The rhythm's gonna bet ya. Rhythm's gonna bet ya. Rhythm's gonna bet you with props, props. SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the number one AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Get predictions for betting on money line, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard or have Rhythm build you a model for you. You can track them in the app. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM. And we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box. Thank you for everyone watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Get some likes going on in here. Get some likes. Cue Dominic the Donkey says Feach. All right, Feach, we'll see. We'll see. La Bamba. Not bad. Absolutely. He says Sigatorni, who also said the Uncle Kev drop is one of the best. It really is. I'll give you another Uncle Kev drop. Why not? Never could have too much Uncle Kev in the episode.
How about them Giants, baby? Huh?
Oh, yeah,
you bet your ass.
Where was it?
How about them Giants, baby? Huh?
I don't know my thing out. Oh, well. Well, I guess we won't do it, Uncle Kev. Man, the box is having technical difficulties. All right, let's move on to the show because we have other games to talk to. I can do fucking Italian jokes all day. As you hear me cursing right there. Like I said, I can joke about, I know you said this is going to age, not going to age well this episode, but boo for tea, as I always say, I'm allowed to make jokes about Italians because I hate Italians. So it's okay if I do it. Just kidding. I grew up around, I'm actually part Italian. Very Irish, part Italian though. Ma don't. We didn't like to talk about it much. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Bears-Vikings game. Another terrible, terrible line. We have Vikings on the road, -3.5 in Chicago. Now, what's going on in Chicago? Chicago, of course, had the blocked field goal versus the Packers, but they looked much better. They fired their offensive coordinator, Waldron. They replaced him with Thomas Brown. And Caleb looked good. He ran for like 80 yards. But he made some good plays. The whole team looks good. The Bears, who do have some talent. The Bears have had a crazy season already where they looked absolutely horrendous. That's how bad Shane Waldron is. I want to know, how bad is Shane Waldron of an offensive coordinator where he was replaced by the guy who led the Carolina Panthers offense last year, Thomas Brown. I mean, I know it was Frank Reich too, but then they gave Brown the play calls for like 3 weeks, and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, that was a mistake. We're taking it back from you." First of all, why did the Bears even hire this guy? You're the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. He's your net franchise, obviously. Like, here we go. We finally hit the lottery. We got the number 1 pick with Caleb Williams. Who should we get to coach him up? Our first guy, oh, I know. We'll get the guy who totally fucked up Bryce Young last year and destroyed him. That number 1 overall pick. Can we get that guy? Is he available? Oh, yeah, he's available. You know why he's available? Because he got fired, because he's terrible. Who watched Carolina's offense last year and was like, who runs that? Can we hire him? Are they hiring? Anyway, that's how bad Shane Waldron is, because Thomas Brown actually had them looking like a competent offense. So that gets to this game. Vikings have been, their record they're still getting wins, but they've been on the road. This is their 3rd road game in a row. At Jacksonville, they won 12-7. At Tennessee, they won by 10. Could have been closer. Sam Darnold is starting to be Sam Darnold. He still throws it around in a Kevin O'Connell offense, but he also throws awful interceptions. 3rd game in a row with a new hot Thomas Brown run-heavy offense. We're going to bear down, fans. Get ready to bear down. This is a lot of... We're going to take the 3.5. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears plus 3.5. I forgot to do my Cower Power for tonight. Kerper is the Steelers. Bill Cower. When I was a Pittsburgher, when I was in Pittsburgh, I went to the University of Duquesne. Kerr was the coach, Bill Kerr. Kerr, that's how they pronounce it. And they would say Cower Power, but with Pittsburgh accents, it sounded like they were saying Care Bear. Kerper, Kerber, Kerper, Kerper, Kerper. Anyway, but now it'll be Bear Down. Mike, welcome to the chat. Says Chicago also has a wild nightlife. It sure does. I know very much about the Chicago nightlife. Not that I would do it much anymore, but there's a lot of great places, including if you're in Chicago. Depends on what kind of nightlife you're looking for. Obviously, there's great clubs and whatnot, but there's also great late night bars. Galway Bay being my favorite. 500 West Diversey. If you're ever in Chicago, I recommend you go to Galway Bay. Maybe the greatest bar in Chicago, if not the country. Now, granted, I would do late night after hours with them, but that's what also made it great. They hate customers, so do not say I sent you. That will get you kicked right out. But it's the kind of place where a girl will ask you, "Hey, do you have a wine list?" And then they'll write on one napkin red and the other napkin white and slat it over. Go, yeah, here's our wine list. Toots. Anyway, let's move on. So we got the Bears plus 3.5. We have Giants plus 6. Let's stick with the NFC East. Washington, Dallas. I mentioned this a little while ago on Monday night when we faded the Cowboys. This Cowboy team has quit. And I love it. That's all I ask for these Cowboys is to continue quitting. I don't care if you're on national TV, Thanksgiving. They got a Thanksgiving game coming up. They got to look ahead. They don't want to go to Washington. This line is huge. What is this line? 10. Commanders laying 10. I mean, personally, I don't think it's big enough. How can you say it's big enough? They are absolutely destroying. The Cowboys are getting destroyed by everybody. Now, granted, most of it's at home. But Cooper Rush, like I said, this is the same analysis on Monday. Cooper Rush saved their season a couple years ago when they had a good team. They don't have a good team anymore. They have CeeDee Lamb, like Micah Parsons, and that's it. And more importantly, Mike McCarthy. Oh, my God. I love when teams quit on a coach. And he still listens to. How about that fake punt on the first drive, but it was the punter throwing the ball to the one guy. If all they needed was a second receiver, and it would have worked because everyone blitzed except for one guy who stopped them. And they asked McCarthy about it. He goes, yeah, they sniffed that out. They were playing a game of chess there. They beat us in a game of chess. Game of chess? No, you're playing fucking Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you moron. They're playing chess. Everyone else is playing chess. You're playing Pong. Anyway, everyone's getting their turn on the Cowboys this year. You know, there's nothing better. They're like, yeah, kick us while we're down. Yeah, we're going to kick you while we're down because we hate you. Everyone universally hates the Dallas Cowboys. We hate Jerry Jones. And now they're down, so everyone gets to run it up. And there's nothing more fun than running it up on the Cowboys. No one takes it easy on them. That's why you see other losses and wins, for bad teams. Like, you don't want to rub it in. No, Dallas, you want to rub it in with. Because they're extremely obnoxious and they would do the same thing. So, yeah, exactly. They're playing Pong. Everyone else is playing chess. Washington Commanders minus 10. This is a get-right game for them. They last played on Thursday night versus Philly. Daniels hopefully got a little more healthy. Even if he didn't, who gives a shit? Put in Mariota. Doesn't matter. They win this going away, and they're going to keep going. Bring out the old Hogs. Bring out the old Indians. Washington, minus 10. Feach says it feels like Jaguars-Lions type situation. Yeah, exactly. And I already brought up the Lions. Speaking of the Lions, let's talk about them now. because they go to Indianapolis. They got a big number on the road. What are they laying? 7.5. Woo! That's a big number. Now the Lions are a wagon right now. They're a train. You either get on board on this Lions train, or you get the hell out of the way. What you don't do is get on the tracks and stand in front of it, unless C-generates, you're the laddie daddy. Unless you're the man in the box. Because this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in front of this Detroit Lion train. I think 7.5 is a little too much for a road game on a non-conference and a game they really don't give a fuck about. And they got a Thanksgiving game coming up in 4 days, a look-ahead spot. Now, the problem is Dan Campbell doesn't allow his teams to look ahead because he's always giving some kind of TikTok speech where he's fired up and gets everyone fired up and they're on board. But like I said a little bit last week, these Lions are becoming a little less lovable. We all love the Lions. They're the losers. We want them to win. They're the best team in football. They're the most fun to watch team. We get all that. But when they put up 52 on Jacksonville last week by kicking a field goal while they're up 43, they kicked what? Campbell. You go for it all the time. Now you're going to kick a field goal to get 50? What are you doing? Like, that was a bit much. So, to be honest with you, they're getting a little fat and sassy. I think some Detroit might be getting fat and sassy a little bit. The Colts looked better. They big road win versus Jets. It's not as easy as it sounds. I know the Jets aren't great, but that was a good spot for the Jets, and the Colts pulled out the win. Anthony Richardson looked bad for a while, but then he did what he did in the fourth quarter. And like I said, I'm giving all credit to Joe Flacco. People want to take it away from Flacco. I think Flacco did what he had to do. He's the fixer. He's father fixer. He goes in there, he wrestles him up, he gives him a little motivation by playing well. Like, hey, your job's not safe. And then he gets out of town. So, Flacco did his job. Anthony Richardson, the ship is rightened. We're going to take these Indianapolis Colts at home, getting a 7.5, such a huge number. This is one of these bets. This is also the reason why I'm taking the Colts. Because it's one of these games where 20 minutes into it, you're either going to know, okay, I got a chance, or this was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Why would I go against Detroit right now? So you can either be a genius or you could be an idiot. That's what I like to do. Nothing in between. I don't like, I could have went either way. No, the Colts are either going to be in this with a possible outright, or they're going to get the doors blown off them, which is kind of likely because that's what Detroit's is doing to everybody. But if you look at Detroit's, if you check under the hood, Detroit's schedule isn't the best who they have played recently. But absolutely, you're right. You do not boo Flacco, Mike. He's an absolute fucking legend. And any good CJ and Colby dual comedy show stories. Well, Mike, glad you asked that because, of course, here at the Bottom Line Bombs. Afterwards, I do the prop show with Sean and Ryan on the main here. This is right afterwards. And after that, around 4 o'clock Pacific, will be the College Weekend Bombs edition, where I do a show with Pix Dundee and Colby, me and Colby together. So you got me now. You got me and Sean and Ryan after this, and then you got me with Colby after. As far as dual comedy show stories, we did a show in Long Beach together. Not Long Beach, Laguna Beach. I'll save it for that. For Colby in there. That'll bring some energy. Because I got to get through. We got one more pick, right? So far, we have Colts 7.5, Washington -10, Giants +6, Bears +3.5. Let's go with another dog. I like it. Let's take 4 dogs and 1 double-digit favorite. That's a good recipe for a contest, to be honest with you. The big favorites seem to cover. Like double-digit favorites, I mean. It used to not be that way, but now it kind of is. All right. Last one. This is another one. This could look very dumb as well, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with looking dumb, obviously. Denver at Las Vegas. The line is 6. Is that right? That's a huge number, too, for Bo Nix. 6, yeah. Bo Nix laying an entire touchdown on the road. Now, I know he looked amazing last week, but that was as predicted against that Atlanta defense that has 0 pass rush. The Raiders, not that they have a great pass rush. They do have Max Crosby, but it's much better than Wilkins. It's much better than Atlanta, that's for sure. That score was a little misleading last week versus Miami. They were in that game. They got Gardner Minshew, who can Minshew things up, but in Las Vegas, I don't really have much of an analysis for this. Their running backs are banged up. Not good, since that's what you want to do. Although here's the thing with Antonio Pierce. He says he wants to run the ball every week, and then he never does it because they can't do it. But he's like, no, this is the week. Trust me, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Now, I know last week I said I was going to give Zamir White 30 carries, and I wound up giving him 5. Turns out Zamir White's not good at football. I did not take that into equation. I should have. You know what I mean? That's my bad. My bad. All right. So next week, we'll give Alexander Madison 25 carries. I guarantee it. Coach, what happened? You got 6. Yeah, again, I forgot to put in my notes that Alexander Madison also not good at football. And apparently that's an important part of being a running back. One, that you have to be active, which they both are not now either. But also, number 2, you have to be good at the sport of football, and they are not. So back to the drawing board with that. That being said, they do have a rookie who they might have to pull up now. What is that guy's name? Not Amir Abdullah. Dylan Loeb. That's who I like. Dylan Loeb. And Dylan Loeb, people like talk about him in the fantasy world. It's like, oh, he's an up-and-comer. Now, you can look at it 2 ways. One, he's not as good as Madison and Zamir White because he couldn't start over them, so that's not a good sign. But I like to think of it as this. With football, the less you play it, the better your value is. The healthier you are. It's like the Benjamin Buttons of sports. The last thing you want, I mean, this guy's coming fresh, hasn't played all year. He's gonna look like fucking Walter Payton out there. Why? Because he didn't go through 3 months of fucking car wrecks of NFL games. Anyway, I think the Raiders rally. They played with a little spirit last week in Miami, at home, in Vegas, getting 6, divisional rivalry. They already played at Denver and lost, and let's see what we can do at home. Fuck this Bo Nix train's getting a little out of hand. I'll just say that. Let's not forget them getting the brakes beat off them in Baltimore a couple weeks ago. So let's take the 6 with Raiders plus 6. Boofer T says, I'm getting better at teasing stories. Keeping you on the channel longer. Just one of the serious radio notes I read. Absolutely. All right. So those are the 5 plays. Chicago, New York, Washington, Vegas, Indianapolis. We're on Cleveland tonight in Elijah Moore ladders and overs. Survivor, road to $500,000. $590K on Bet Online. Continues. We took Detroit last week. We have 3 options this week. Houston over Tennessee, Miami over New England, or Kansas City over Carolina. I'm not going to take Kansas City because I want to play them next week when they do play these Raiders at Kansas City in a rivalry game. Next week's actually kind of tough. Now I know you're getting a little cute when you start doing strategy of look aheads, but you're gonna have to. You have to, because now we got we're coming down the home stretch here. There's 300 players left out of 38,000. Which is pretty good. Still a long ways to go. Miami, New England. Here's the problem with that one is I like Miami. This is what they do. They beat bad teams. You have to strike while they're hot in Miami because when they're healthy. Thing is, if Tua gets hurt mid-game, which he can, since he's Evel Knievel out there and his head is like a fucking eggshell, then you're screwed. And these Patriots, God bless them, they don't give up. That's what I hate about these Patriots. They don't quit. Drake May and these guys want to win. They tried to beat the Rams last week. Dude, slow down, New England. What are you doing? They beat the Bears 2 weeks. What do you stop? You're ruining your draft pick, Patriots. What are you doing? So that scares me a little bit. So I'm going to go with Houston over Tennessee. Houston doesn't look great, but Tennessee is a disaster. And if Will Levis beats me, Will Levis beats me. That's all I can say. That's the end of handicap. All right, let's get into the box. Thank you, C. Jenners, for watching on the show on the YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, pass it around, share it around. Tell your phones that you like me. Tell another phone. Have your phone, call your friend's phone, and say, hey, I like the Bottom Line Bombs. Give me a 5-star review on SGP on Spotify. That helps. I'll read your review online if it's funny. I'm sure it'll be funny. You guys listen to me. We can only help but be funny together. But yeah. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken. Underscore in between each words, or on X at CJ Sullivan underscore. I'll tell my X story now. Like I said, I haven't been on X because I was dumb enough to reply to a Lakers tweet. And things are getting bad. They're so fucking dumb. The tweet was, and it got a lot. It's got big. It's a big account, I guess, that tweeted it. Said JJ, meaning JJ Redick, the new coach, literally came in and was like, "Guys, you won a championship with Davis dominating and LeBron running the show. Just do that again, LOL." And that got 23,000 likes because it's Lakers, Laker Twitter. And listen, I already have opinions about that Lakers bubble championship. It's fraudulent. And the only reason why people take it seriously is because it happened to the Lakers. Only LA fans are like the reason why, oh, it matters. It's actually tougher than. So my reply back was, sure, you're right. They just need another pandemic to hit so Anthony Davis can get 4 months off to rest and get healthy for a playoff run, because that's how they won last time, let alone it being in a bubble with no fans. I'm not even caring about that. No, how they won because Anthony Davis got to take 4 months off and be healthy, which he never has been his entire career. And it got a lot of likes. It's at 630 likes right now. But, of course, it's going to get replies. And it's getting Laker replies. And good God, they just don't stop. And I'm like, I'm either got to shut down my account, I got to do something. Then they start talking to each other. Hijackers. I got enough likes where I don't have to reply to these guys, and I won't. I'm above them now. He's been healthy for 2 years. Just ready to go to offense. Yeah, 2 years out of fucking what? 12 of his career? I mean, what are you talking about? The whole league got 4 months off, right? Yeah, but the whole league doesn't have a 7-footer that they relied upon to be healthy, who always gets hurt, like the fucking Lakers do. But like I said, that was my fault for even getting my nose in there. Sometimes I can't help myself. I used to have a policy, only reply to people that you know on there. But sometimes I can't help myself with takes, especially when it comes to those takes, because those are takes I haven't expressed yet, and I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, NBA Twitter is just the whole thing. The NBA itself is hilarious. James Harden just became the second leading three-point scorer. What a joke that is. Not like James Harden enough, but like NBA stats mean nothing. They just started a three-pointer like in the mid-'80s. Didn't Larry Bird like not have a year of three-pointers or something? Like, I think like Shaq is like 20th on the list of three-pointers. Like, it's so crazy. Like Dale Ellis isn't even on there, and he's like one of the best three-point shooters of all time. Or Jerry, I mean, like no one from the 70s are on there because there's no three-point shot. I will say this about NBA rules, and this is why their stats don't mean anything. They change rules on the fly for whatever will get the best TV ratings. Illegal defense. You can't run a zone. Or you can't hang out there. Illegal offense. Illegal offense, sure, whatever. We'll change it. They just change the rules. So who cares? Anyway. Ronnie Pasco says, not missing much on X, just Jay Leno falling down a hill. Yeah, how about Jay Leno? Is this becoming a prank now with him? He just keeps falling down and getting hurt? Does he owe money? People are like, what's his story? Was he was staying at a Hampton Inn and he tried to go down a hill? It seems bizarre, but Jay Leno's a bizarre person. I do believe he was staying at a Hampton Inn. Anyway. What else happened to me? Oh, boy, geez, we're already over an hour. All right, I'll tell this story real quick, and then that's it. Then I gotta wrap it up, C-generates, because then I got the prop show coming up. College bombs down under. Got to do some box ranting. Gruden Barstool style. What did I want to say? I already told you about the scam line I called. Here's another line. This is most of my complaints. But I'll tell a funny story first. Me and Nick Vatterott, my friend Nick Vatterott, he's a very funny comedian. Look him up if you haven't. We live in the same building here in Hollywood. In our building, he thinks it's a sleeper cell. It's basically Airbnbs monthly, but people come in and out of there, and it's crazy. It's just fucking, who knows? It's just insanity in there. Anyway, we were going on a walk with him and my Chiefs affiliate, Brady Novak. We're going to walk Hollywood Boulevard. So anyway, we're going to go meet in the lobby. I'm on the fifth floor. He's on the third floor. I'm in the elevator going down, and it stops on 3. I assume it's going to be Nick coming into the elevator because there's not a lot of people coming in and out of our building like that. And it's at the same time. Like, let's meet at the lobby at 9. So, like, literally the same minute. Most likely it's going to be him. A lot of times that's been it. So, we're going to do a bit. Always got to do some kind of bit, And my bit was, since my buddy Nick was coming into the elevator, that I was going to turn around and face the wall, the back wall, in the corner, basically. Like I'm just standing in the corner, almost like I'm a guy taking a pee or he's passed out or he's depressed. Of course, it was not Nick. Imagine my dismay. The elevator doors open, and it was a woman, a girl, a young Korean girl. She walks in and just sees me standing in the corner, not facing the door. And she goes, oh, God, are you okay? Are you okay, mister? I turn around, oh, hey. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine. I thought you were going to be somebody else. That's all. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she looked at the wall real closely where I was looking at to see if there was anything there. No, there's nothing there. I wasn't doing anything. It did look suspicious, though, I imagine. And then listen to this, degenerates. That's not where the end of this Three's Company hijinks ends. Then she talks into her phone. It's just me and her now taking the elevator. Obviously, it's a little awkward. It's just me and her in the elevator. She talks into her phone, not in English. And then the phone comes back like it's an AI bot with the definition or reason of why people lie. It goes, most people lie because they lack self-confidence. Most people lie in general because they lack self-confidence. It was on a loop. So I literally think she asked AI in Korean, why do people lie? Meaning me. So that was kind of rude. I was like, hey, I'm not lying. And she's like, oh, she did speak English to me, so she did know English. And then we get out of the elevator, and then she goes over towards the office, which is closed because it's 9 at night, or 8 at night, 7 at night, something like that. It seemed like 9 at night the way it gets dark so early. And she's like, oh, there's something there. But she just wanted to get away from me at that point. Like, where are you going? That's closed. Yeah, I know. I just want to walk away from you. All right, fair enough. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say was, my Venmo account. I needed a fund. My Venmo account got suspended. I was like, oh, that's odd. Was it from sending money to books? Did it do with the gambling? But no, they don't tell you why. They suspended my Venmo account. They're like, yeah, we'll send you an email. They sent me an email. They sent me a form. Send an ID. I send an ID, a picture of a license. Then after a week, it's supposed to be done. Nothing happened. I called him up. Hey, what's going on? You going to unsuspend this account? What's going on? Oh, well, it should be by Friday. Call back then. Then I called like a week later. Still nothing. What the fuck's going on with my account? All right, well, we expedited it. Let me see what's going on. Oh, yep, they got the inquiry. Okay. Tell you what, I'll send them an email. They only get contact by email. What about you? Who am I talking to? Yeah, that has nothing to do with us. No, you are us. I love when they say that. That has nothing to do with us. That's security claims. No, you are us. You're Venmo. You're the phone number that's on here to call, which is already 18th down the line because they want you to chat. They want you to send a text. They want you to do anything but talk to a person. And this person has no idea he even works for Venmo. He probably works for 20 different companies at a call center in India, you know. So then she's like, all right, yeah, they only respond to email. Okay, well, why don't you give me the email address? It doesn't work that way. It has to come through the server. What? So what do I do? You just sit tight. Great. Okay. Anyway, it got unsuspended. It's some suspicious activity. Well, listen, I buy things from a lot of fishy places. All right, Venmo? Just ask me first before you suspend it. Say, hey, is this you? Yeah, it's me. And don't ask any more questions. Try to enjoy myself here in this goddamn world. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for everyone who joined us. And that's it for the box. Like I said, we got a lot of picks to go through. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I will be at the Eagles-Rams game at SoFi Stadium on Sunday night. That'll be exciting. A lot of Bird fans will be there. Go Birds, including our own Sean Green. We're a couple sections over. I am right above the tunnel where the Eagles come out. If you're looking for me, maybe I'll have a sign for Sirianni. Maybe I'll dress as Big Dom. Maybe Big Dom makes an appearance. Who knows? Anyway, we are going to we're going to figure all that out. Boy, this show's getting late. Let me just end the show. Goodbye.